Welcome to the Ringside Podcast and Cardinal Sports Zone collaboration. I'm your host, Jeremy Wallman, here with the other half of the World Wallman Tag Team Champions, Joe Wallman.
3 letters, 1 word, Joe.
Chat line's open for all your comments and questions. We'll answer all of your questions in real time to get your reactions on this week in wrestling. If you're a member of the Ringside group chat on Twitter, you have the opportunity to call in as well. That could get scary. Shoot me a DM and I'll shoot you the number and we'll get that facilitated. We're trying to, so full disclosures, we have been trying to get this call line established for our other shows, and it's going to kind of be a guinea pig type situation on this show. So we're going to try to get it going with the Ringside. If you want to be in the Ringside Podcast Wrestlers group, shoot us a message. Shoot us your Twitter DM. Your Twitter @ and we'll add you in the group. For those of you all who are fans of Ringside Podcast, going to kind of explain the hiatus. We have not been as regular, pun not intended, over the last 8 months. Myself been extremely busy with all the shows and work. Daniel busy being head referee at OVW and TNA Wrestling. Eric and Linda announcing everywhere. So we've just not had the time. So what we're going to try out for this summer is a couple of these, kind of like Busted Open does it. They've got different hosts for different times of the year. Me and Daniel, we spoke earlier for a couple of hours, and I know that sounds painful, but it's true. And we decided that we're going to give this a trial run. We'll see how it goes over the next couple of months, and hopefully we have something going here that you, the wrestling fans, will be excited to listen to. We also do understand that with this being connected to the main Cardinal Sports Zone account, we will have an influx of people jumping in and out. If wrestling's your thing, stay here. Holler at us. If wrestling's not your thing, go ahead and do what you want to do. So let's check out the chat. Okay, here we go. Chat line already on fire. Wes Brocky, let's go. This is Fire. Glad Ringside is back. Yeet. James Gartland. Sean put the blow up away and joined 55. Triple H in the house. Absolutely. Our guy Zach Beckman from Beckman's Fine Blades, sponsor of the other shows. Yes, got the yard looking real nice today. In go-karts baseball. This is not that show. Wes Brocky says Gracie is acknowledging you all. Yeet. And Daniel still can't count. Well, that's rude, but probably pretty correct. So here's the deal with Sean. Sean was supposed to be a part of this with us tonight, and he already had informed us he wasn't going to be in town on Saturday or Sunday for this week's episode of the podcast. What he didn't do is tell us that he wouldn't be available for tonight, so he finally messages me back after me texting him all day long at 8:59 and said he's in the car on the way to Spartanburg. He's in Spartanburg on the way to Myrtle Beach, so he would not be able to join us. So, Sean, I don't wish any ill will on you, but I do wish your first encounter with a woman to be itchy. Sorry, not sorry. We're going to go over all the stuff. So here's what we're going to do. Again, it says explain format of the show. The format's simply this. We're going to go over all of this week's biggest news in wrestling. If we don't talk about something you all want to talk about, put it in the chat line. If we do talk about something you want to talk about, comment on the chat line. We have plenty of time here to answer any and all questions. We've got a couple of special correspondents. We're looking for more. If you are a TNA super fan, get in touch with me. We will we are looking for specialty. So if you're a TNA super fan, hit us up. If you're AEW super fan, hit us up, and we're going to do special segments every week where we get the information from you all, we read it off, and we address any concerns that you all want from your favorite wrestling promotions. We already know what ours are. We want to hear from everybody's favorite wrestling promotion. So that's going to be fun. Let's see, Sean, I'm about to finish. You've already said that. You've never finished anything in your life, Sean. Get out of here.
Most of it he's not even started.
So let's do this. We are going to. I'm going to turn the volume up. You're going to hear sort of an echo. I want to make sure all the effects are coming through, and I want to make sure the phone line. So bear with us again, live TV. So let's see if this works.
Unbelievable.
So let's see if we hear that. So we'll test the telephone line. I think that sounds great. Okay, so that sound effect came through. Perfect. And then I'm going to, there's a phone number I haven't called in years, but I remember the number. So I'm calling it.
Calling time and temperature?
Absolutely.
Find somebody else's number now.
8. Temperature 85 degrees and falling.
There you go. So let's see if it comes through on our master board. And it does. So I think we have got all of the only thing I can't figure out, and we'll have to figure out during the show tonight if we get some callers. Hopefully we'll have some people in the group chat come through for us, but we'll see. So that gives me a little bit of a high hope there. Chris Runyon says leather no, I'm not reading that. Our guy James in West troubleshooting for James will help me out earlier. I think that we got this figured out. No thanks to Sean, the producer. So here's the thing. Chris Runyon, he's a OVW super fan. He has provided the OVW weekly report this week. Never met him before in person, so we're gonna see how his skills are and go forward from there. Maybe even take a phone call since he did this hard work for us. We'll see. Thanks, Wes. Wes has heard it 4 times. That's perfect. Let's get right into it. And again, y'all have to bear with us because we are doing this for the first time. Don't really have a flow. First thing I want to talk about is the dismissal of a couple of key guys from WWE. This week we found out that R-Truth and Carlito did not renew their contracts, apparently offered way less money to stick around. Now, if you all will remember, right around the pandemic time frame, WWE was offering people ridiculous contracts to stay with them, offering double, even triple to keep them around. Some of these contracts has resulted in performers who aren't on full time with ludicrous contracts, and R-Truth is believed to be one of those contracts. So he didn't want to take the less money. He was not released. That was in true R-Truth fashion, confused. He said released. Obviously, he was doing his thing. But best of luck to both of those guys. I mean, Carlito comes back around. He's like Haley's Comet. He comes back around once every 12 years. So we'll see him again soon. And Sheamus said today on the Pat McAfee show that R-Truth will be back before you know it. Speculation, of course. Let's get to the kind of the Raw breakdown. We got so my positive, the things I remember from Raw, and this is how I'm going to do it. I want the things that were positive that I liked from Raw. I'll go ahead and mention, and if there's anything I missed, y'all let me know. The women's Money in the Bank qualifier sees Victoria get in the Money in the Bank match along with Roxanne, Alexa, Rhea, Naomi, and Juria. The Becky and Lyra storyline, making some good moves on that. They're continuing that. I really like how they're building. I don't like the feud, but I like how they're building it. And then finally, the Money in the Bank qualifier for the men. El Grande gets in alongside of Solo, LA Knight, Penta, Seth, Andrade. Also like the interaction with Seth's new group. Now, I'm not real sure how I feel about the group because I wanted it to be an evolution style group. And as mentioned, so y'all will hear me do a lot of say a lot of quotes and stuff from Busted Open. I'll listen to it every morning from 9 to noon while I'm working. Uh, they make a lot of good points, and they make some points that are stupid. But one thing that they have mentioned that I agree with is that it just looks like Seth's got a couple of bouncers with them. They're not doing anything right now to advance the other two guys' storylines, much like they did. This point wasn't brought up by Bully and the gang, but I feel like a good example of elevating the people around you is how they did with the Bloodline, elevating Sammy and the twins, and then when it was Solo, elevating Tama and Tonga and Jacob. So I don't feel like that's happening right now. As it stands right now, I do feel like another member is needed to maybe round out the faction. I would like you all let us know on the chat line if there was. That's our first question of the night. If there's a fourth member added, who would you all like to see added? And then after we get a couple of comments, I'll let you know who I'd like to see added. But did I miss anything from Raw?
The Punk promo was a really good one, I thought. He hit on many key points, like from now and going forward, and then his interaction with Sammy. But no, and with Seth's group, like for one, I think they need to come up with a name. They need to come up with some kind of name for it. But they need to, if they're not going to do anything, like you said, advancing Braun and Bronson, they need to just have them go after the tag team titles for now.
I hate
something besides bodyguarding, like you said, you know.
Yeah, I don't like that. And what was it? There I came up with a name for the faction, and then 2 weeks later, Michael Cole said it, but then didn't mention it again. What was it?
I don't remember.
The Dangerous Corporate. It was something. Wes Brocky says Becky Lynch. Well, that's only the second dumbest thing I've heard him say today, so we'll allow it. I'm messing with you, Wes.
I wouldn't mind a female in the group. Like, I mean, we always thought that they should have brought one of the females into the bloodline.
Absolutely. And we'll go over some of y'all's picks. Second question of the night, who's y'all's picks to win the men's and the women's Money in the Bank? We'll make these up as we go. The questions of the night. Chris Runyon comes. He actually says, no, the Dangerous Alliance. It wasn't that because that was their name. That was Polly's group's
WCW.
name back in the day. It was a play on the Dangerous Corporation, maybe. I forgot what it was. I came up with a good one, and we all were like, yeah. Sean was like, that doesn't sound half bad. But yeah, Chris Runyon, I'm going to spoil it for me, but Chris Runyon said exactly who I put in there. Karrion Kross.
Austin Theory.
I love Karrion Kross. I like Logan Paul in that. I like Austin Theory in that spot. Any number of people could be in that spot, and it would be a home run as far as I'm concerned. I'm not really sure I put much SmackDown stuff on here because it was so far back, and we're starting like with this week. If I remember, I think I did put SmackDown stuff down here at the end. We'll move on to Tuesday night. NXT continues to be the best overall show on TV. Just when you think there's nothing they can do to soup it up, they do every week. There's a surprise. There's a debut. There's something. Was talking to OVW and TNA head referee Daniel Spencer this morning, again, as I stated, and we were talking about how like NXT is the best of both worlds. It's really NXT and A at the moment. The best of both worlds are converging in that one spot. The TNA titles being featured in the main event. TNA wrestlers are showing up every week. I really love what they're doing there. Good 8-man tag. I'm confused as to why the one guy who's not wrestling Saturday got the pin in that tag match. You would think you'd want to promote somebody who's wrestling at Worlds Collide, which featured Worlds Collide is going to feature WWE wrestlers, NXT wrestlers, Evolve wrestlers, and Laredo Kid from AAA / TNA. So. 2 years ago, you'd have never thought something like that was going to happen. There was the Women's Championship Summit, which at first I was like, well, this is really stupid, until I realized why they were doing it. And that was to debut the, as of 48 hours prior, free agent Mariah May. The sad thing about it is they did not name her by name, which leads me to believe that they're going to change her name. I don't like that. I don't understand why they let some of the people keep their name, Ray Phoenix, Penta, Ethan Page, and then make other people Ricky Smokes or Ricky Saints. And her name's probably going to be Mariah May, M-A-Y-Z, something stupid like that.
You think it's because like Mariah and Ricky both made their name big in AEW, and Ethan Page was already kind of, known in TNA, and Ray and Penta were
Jade
already
Cargill
both
made her name in AEW.
Well, that's Jade Cargill, though. I think they just dropped the May and they just call her Mariah. That's what I would do.
Mariah. Yeah,
I would just drop the May and just call her Mariah.
Bubba Ray said to call her the Glamour Bomb, which he thought was the greatest thing he'd ever created. I don't like it, but it is what it is. And then at the end of it, we saw an amazing TNA Championship match between Trick Williams and Mike Santana. You want to talk about somebody dropping the ball? That is the biggest fumble that AEW has ever had. Cutting Mike Santana. That dude can do it all. He's a decent wrestler, not a world beater, but he's amazing on the microphone. You can hear
Magic Mike Santana.
Absolutely. You can hear it come through on the microphone. Dave and Mark Henry and Tommy, I think, interviewed. And I'm going to get this tie-in with Sirius Radio. I'm going to go on Busted Open this week and make sure I plug us and let's talk about, remind me, I've got a Sirius Radio update here in a minute that kind of ticked me off, and we'll talk. But then you see Elijah in the crowd, and I think we may have seen our first ever cross-promotion faction created last night between First Class. First Class is Casey Navarro, Top Dollar, AJ Francis, and Trick Williams.
I'm pretty sure, did one of them on the commentary team actually say, didn't one of them say Flop Dollar? I'm pretty sure Vic Joseph or one of them said.
Vic Joseph said they may have come to flop dollars at NXT with the wrong people.
That's what it was.
Hilarious. Question number 3 for the nation here. Are you all enjoying the TNA invasion, or the TN invasion as I call it? Let us know your thoughts. Y'all know my opinion. I'm thoroughly enjoying it. I've been a fan of TNA since the jump. There has been horrible times. This is as good as it's ever been, though. And it's not just because they're mingling with NXT and the WWE. Sources have told me that people within TNA are ecstatic with the way that the partnership is going. 10 times better than the one they had with the other guys. Actually, said I made this comment earlier that I thought even the Lucha Underground crossover they had with Impact was better, more beneficial, and it was because it gave them a plethora of new talent to push on up. Now, most of them they pushed on up to AEW, and then now we got them up in WWE. I said we, like I am a stockholder. You're a stockholder.
Yeah, same.
Yeah, okay, so push them on up to us.
Yeah.
At the we, and it is what it is. But yeah, I'm thoroughly enjoying the invasion. Let's see what the nation is talking about.
One thing about NXT, the one thing I like, one of the best things I liked was I enjoyed the seemingly maybe kind of faction starting between Ethan Page and the Vanity Project. I thought it was very, very seamless. It seemed natural. It seemed good, and it's a good way to kind of elevate some new stars to NXT from Evolve.
Okay, so that's something I wanted to get into too before I lose track. Thought of my thought track here. I do not like and I know y'all are gonna be like, well, that's kind of hypocritical. You just said you love the NXT TNA stuff. I do. I don't think the Evolve. I think if you're gonna do a crossover, let the LFG guys cross over to Evolve and back and forth. Those Evolve and LFG, they have no business being. And even though the Vanity Project is a good idea in theory, those guys have no business being in the ring with the NXT Super. They're even the way that they talked in their. And I know it sounds like I'm knocking them pretty hard. I'm not trying to, but you wouldn't have even had to. If I watched that last night and saw them come out, I would have immediately said, "Oh, these guys must be new." Chris Runyon says Mariah May has arrived. Yeah, unlike Sean, Mariah May has arrived. Wes Brocky answered one of our questions from earlier. I would like to see Alexa Bliss win it or Stephanie Vaquer win the women's Money in the Bank. There you go. Wes says Gracie wants Mommy to win the Money in the Bank on the women's side. Well, yeah, she's a big fan of Mommy. That makes sense.
That's the only one I don't want to win.
I really don't. She don't need to win. Here's the thing,
No,
and explain this to Gracie. Wes, put Gracie up next to the speaker so she can hear this. Rhea Ripley does not need to win Money in the Bank to win the championship. She gets 87 opportunities a year to win the title. She don't need it. That's why it's going to go to somebody who's either and they did a good job of putting 3 on the rise call-ups in this match. And then you've got Rhea, Naomi, and then who's the third established one that's in there? Alexa Bliss. So it's either going to be Naomi or one of the newbies. I don't really see it being Roxanne, but I can see them putting it on Stephanie. I can see them putting it on Julia, and I can see them putting it on Naomi. Naomi does make the most sense since she's already an established main roster star. But if you're wanting to shake things up, you put it on one of the new call-ups. But yeah,
I don't think
Ripley should never win.
Either.
Well, no, she don't. Well, the only reason she kind of does is because she's been gone for a while, and it would spruce up her return a little bit. But no, she don't need it.
Right, because if you said Alexa's fighting Io Sky for the world title, it makes sense. But if Stephanie's going to challenge for the world title right now. Well, she just got there. It wouldn't make a lot of sense unless she had the Money in the Bank briefcase.
Robbie says Logan Paul. Yeah, Logan Paul's a wrestler now, Robbie. I'm not really sure how in tune with the product you are, but he is a phenomenal heel. He's a natural born wrestler. I really, really wanted to hate the kid.
He's awesome.
He's not very good on the microphone.
No, but he'll get there.
Which you can work on that. But he kind of sounds like back when Roman Reigns did the whole suffer and suck attach. But Roman Reigns used to suck at promos.
Oh, I think Logan Paul's still ahead of how Roman was, but he still needs help. But if he would just do his promos like he does his podcast, he would be 10 times better.
Absolutely. She's okay. Wes says that Gracie's okay with Alexa. Yeah, I mean, I don't like. There's no, and I'm gonna tell you why that you're gonna again say, well, Jeremy, that sounds kind of weird. You just said that you don't put the money in the bank on anybody who don't need it. And then we're going to talk about the men's side here in a minute, and I'm going to tell you why there's only one person that's going to win it on that side, and it's somebody who's already won it before. We'll get to that though here in a second. Thanks everybody for their comments. We'll get back to the comments in a minute. There have only been, let's get back to, we were wrapping up NXT TNA. There have only, and I want to see how good you are at this, Joey. There have only been 5 people to have won both the TNA World Championship and the NXT World Championship. Can you name the 5? And can anybody in the nation name the 5?
All right. Well, of course you got Trick Williams.
Okay.
Samoa Joe.
Okay. There's 2 for 2.
Gosh, I know this. Hold on. Oh. Hold on. You're rushing me.
It worked.
Both the TNA World Title and the NXT World Title, right?
Correct.
You said there's 5 people that's done it.
5 people.
Well, I know Joe and Joe Hendry. No, Joe Hendry didn't have the NXT. He just wrestled a lot in NXT.
No. You named the first and the last to do it.
Yeah, I know.
In between. No, actually, you didn't. Never mind. I'm sorry. I misspoke on that. You didn't name the first. You didn't.
Joe's not the first.
No, he was the second.
Okay, I'm going back. Ethan Page?
No,
I don't remember if he ever had. See, I didn't watch a lot of TNA when he was with the North. I don't know. Didn't know.
You were watching actual TNA.
Yeah. I'm just trying to go back through the lineage. I mean, I know Seth and Bo Dallas and Big E and Shinsuke, up to my knowledge, never won the TNA World Title.
We'll get back. Let's come back. So we'll see if you can figure it out. Let's see if the nation can figure it out. We are going to go to next. We are going to go to. Let me get my notes. I'm trying to stall a little bit because okay. So this is the OVW. We're going to talk about OVW and the OVW Week in Review. For the OVW Week in Review, we've got the OVW Women's Champion Sophia Rose wrestled Rachel Lay. It says Lay. Non-title match. Sophia Rose wins that match. Parker versus the Mammoth Donovan Cecil. Cecil wins. After the match, the veteran Jack Vaughn appears on the screen and issues a challenge to the Mammoth. The initiative. It feels like I'm reading Higgy's wrap-ups now. The initiative versus Flawless Jake Lawless and Luscious Lawrence. Lawrence and Lawless win. What happened? Listen, Runyon, I know you are the OVW aficionado, and I've not been there in a couple weeks. So I've not got to keep up with it as often as I normally do. Where's Omar Amir? Why is he not teaming with Luscious? Tell us what's up with that in the comments. Then Super Z comes out to address the crowd about Star Rider and the vacant OVW Rush Division Championship. The Doom Syndicate comes out and surrounds Super Z, but Super Z takes them all out. Star Rider will take on Super Z at Hard Reset June 14th, their next pay-per-view.
I know.
Tony Evans and Drew Hernandez are both taken out by Jay De Niro before the four-way match can begin. Turns into a triple threat between Anthony Totali versus Big Zo versus Anthony Katina from the Trifecta. Katina wins and secures a number one contenders match with the OVW Media Champion Dustin Jackson for this week's episode of Rise. Chris Exodus wrestles JJ Lawson, Chris Exodus versus JJ Lawson versus Jake Painter. Painter gets the W. Then Freya the Slayer versus Lovely Miss Larkin. Freya wins by stabbing Larkin with her own quotations knife. Adam Revolver versus Cash Daniel, the former player for the Smurf Turds down the road. Revolver wins for the second week in a row versus Daniel. That's good. I'm glad to hear that. In the main event, Crixus versus Dustin Jackson with Tony Gunn and Cal Hero at ringside. The match ends in a DQ when leather douchebag Doug interferes and Katie Gannon returns. Surge comes out and cleans house as the show goes off air. Really solid report there by Chris. We appreciate it. Let's go ahead.
I know him now. I was typing them down so I didn't forget. I know the five.
Did you Google them?
No.
Okay.
I was just typing them up.
Okay. Let's the OVW United at Hard Reset, the OVW United States Championships on the line as Eric Surge defends the title versus the OVW Heavyweight Champion Mount Kadeem. Super Z will face Star Rider for, I believe, the vacant OVW Rush Division Championship. Cal Hero and a partner of his choosing will wrestle Crixus and Tony Gunn with Leather Dork Doug in the corner. If Cal's team wins, he gets 5 minutes alone with Doug Basham. If Cal's team loses, Cal must leave OVW. Please let Cal Hero's partner be Braun Strowman. Open invitation ladder match. Oh, here we go. Sorry, I misspoke earlier. There's an open invitation ladder match for the OVW Rush Division Championship. I thought that the comment earlier that Chris put in there said that Super Z and Star Rider. That's OVW Hard Reset at the Hot Point Davis Arena Saturday, June 14th 4400 Shepherdsville Road, Louisville, Kentucky, 40218. Doors open at 6 p.m. Bell time at 7. Thank you for that OVW report. Hopefully I represented well there with, oh my God, he's injured. Okay, here we go. So Omar Amir is injured. He had to have surgery recently. Okay. And Chris Runyon said, that's my father, Doug Basham. Put respect on his name. I will not be doing that. He is an abomination. He's the reason why I stopped. Hold on. Hello?
Call from Chris ROVW. To accept, press 1.
Okay.
To send a voicemail.
Calling me collect. Hello?
Why are you not putting respect on my father's name?
Who is this?
This is Chris Runyon. Who is this?
You know exactly who this is. This is your real daddy.
You are not my father. My father is the greatest OVW superstar of all time, and yet.
Oh, wait a minute. Whoa. Your dad's Randy Orton?
You know good and well who I'm talking about. I am talking about the machine. I am talking
Jamin
about
Alavencia?
Daddy Doug. Speaking of which, I have a lot of bones to pick with a lot of people, but he's one that I do have a feeling that is going to be in Cal's corner come hard reset on June 14th. But make no mistake about it, Jamin will make the right decision.
Wait a minute. Hold on. I do know you. You're that dude that they whip cream every week on OVW, aren't you?
We don't have to go there. Them stupid, dirty poppies.
You're the dude.
He gets creamed every week.
He gets creamed every week, and not only that, he puts up these social media videos where he's playing with dolls.
That you don't understand, Jeremy. That stupid doll that my wife bought from Luscious's table after the show one week. It came home. It is just as bad and as haunted as that Annabelle doll that you've watched in the movies. It has creamed my car. It has stolen my credit card information. It has ordered things that I can't even probably say here on air because we got to probably keep it PG-13. But let's just put it this way. It has caused me a lot of problems.
I imagine
I'm traumatized.
I imagine it would. Look, Chris, all jokes aside, thanks for getting the OVW report together for us this week. We appreciate it. We hope to have you on, maybe in studio, as long as you stop acting like a dork talking about Doug Basham. What'd you say, Joey?
Don't bring the doll.
Yeah, don't bring the doll, and we won't bring the whipped cream.
Okay, that sounds like a perfect deal to me.
All right, hey, Chris, knock, knock.
Do I even want to do that? Who's there?
All right, that was Chris Runyon. Everybody. OVW super fan. Let's see.
Hey, before I forget, let me read these 5 off to you.
Okay, hold on real quick. Teresa Wallman downstairs. Yeet. And Wes Brocky says he likes it. Yes, I'm the first one that affectionately started calling him Chris P. Creamed. So he has me to thank for that, and I thank him for honestly. We had the little back and forth plan, but I appreciate him getting the OVW, and he'll be getting the OVW report together for us every week going forward. And we're looking for somebody to do that for TNA, even though we watch TNA regularly. We definitely need somebody to do it for AEW because obviously we're not watching that. We're on right now, and it's on right now. They're going to have to earn my viewership back. But look, this is what we're going to go to Joey for his 5 here in a second. But we are going to go back to the format of the show. We haven't decided whether we're going to do a show. Obviously, this time we've decided to do it the week leading up to a big pay-per-view in Money in the Bank. Then we feel like we probably need to do a recap show the following week at some point. It won't be a set time. Keep the notifications on. We'll get to you. We appreciate you. And yes, Wes, Chris absolutely loves getting wet every week at OVW. Joey, go ahead. Give us the 5.
Trick. Samoa Joe. Already said those. Drew McIntyre, Dolph Ziggler. The one I'm not sure about, I know he won the NXT, but I can't remember. But Bobby Roode, did he win the
You
TNA World?
Googled it.
No, I didn't. I told you I was going back through the lineage, and I was trying to think because I know
I didn't even know
Drew
the
beat
lineage.
Adam Cole, right? Drew beat Adam Cole for the NXT World title.
No. Drew got attacked by Adam Cole.
That's right. By Adam Cole,
after
Bobby Fish, and them.
I don't know who he beat.
So I knew. Well, so I knew he
Bobby Roode. He beat Bobby Roode.
Okay. Well, there you go. And I just thought about Dolph because he went back down to NXT, had that run in NXT before he got let go.
Actually, Dolph Ziggler is not correct. Dolph Ziggler has never won the TNA World Championship.
What did he have?
Dolph Ziggler's never been. I almost put a JBL there. Dolph Ziggler's never been in TNA. Nick Nemeth has been in TNA.
The same guy.
Nick Nemeth's never won the NXT championship. I'm just playing, just
so, but who was? You said Joe wasn't the first.
No. Joe came in after Drew and Bobby. It was Bobby, Drew.
I thought he was before them.
Bobby, Drew, Joe.
I thought he was already on the main roster when Drew and
it was Bobby, Drew, Joe, Dolph, and Trick. All right, let's keep us going. So far, I feel like so good. Let's see, AEW again. My biggest gripes with AEW is there's no storyline continuity. You may have one guy in a storyline one week, he's in a different one the next week. The only thing that's been semi-interesting to me on AEW have been both the Hurt Syndicate stuff. We're trying to get MJF trying to get in. Now he's in. What's going to happen there? I'm interested to see what goes on there. How's he going to screw him over? And I was interested in the whole Hangman Page, Will Ospreay storyline until they came out on various press clippings saying, both men really pushed for the other one to win. Well, why would you let that out? That diminished it to me. That means it's not really. When I hear Adam Page talk about how he really wants to beat Will Ospreay's butt and he's the better man, I don't believe it because somebody leaked the fact that they were both cheering for each other. I still love Swerve Strickland and Adam's story, but that's about it. Like, they've been hiding their world title for 9 months now in a briefcase. That's stupid. So that's about all we're going to say about AEW. If you've got any AEW thoughts, positives, send them in. It's like Dave LaGreca said earlier. Again, I'm going to quote them a lot because I do listen to them every day. He said, it's not like we ask for people to call in and be negative about AEW, or they just don't ever call in about anything positive about AEW. Last but not least, as far as the promotions are concerned, SmackDown, I can tell you this much. We do not want any more Cody Cena face-offs. As soon as I saw that was going to be a part of SmackDown this week, I open mouth regurgitated in front of Joey and Sean. It was a ghost tea, but whatever. The tag division's really hot on SmackDown. A sentiment that Joey has been saying for months now. They need to just combine the tag team divisions. Let them do like they did when we were growing up, man. The Bulldogs and who was it? The Islanders. The Islanders and the Bulldogs weren't fighting for the titles. They were fighting over the custody of Matilda. Like, when you don't have enough tag titles or tag teams, you don't need two separate divisions. I think there's a total of 8 on both brands. I think I might be being generous there. Wyatt
Raw, and the rest of them are on SmackDown.
It's something very, very close to that ratio. The Wyatts are back. I'm not really sure. I love the Wyatt family, the Wyatt Six. I'm just not sure what you do with them. It's just not the same without Bray. And I'm very, very, as I love that they're there, I don't know what you do with them. And I was just getting intrigued. Talking about tag teams, the Big Jim, R-Truth tag team was gaining some steam with me, and I was really, really enjoying that. So before we break down the pay-per-view cards, and I do have a couple of parting questions for you all that I want y'all's opinions on. Again, text line. Text in. Who do you want to? What were our questions of the night? How do you like the TNA, NXT, TNA invasion angles? Are you feeling that? Who do you want to win the men's? Who do you want to win the women's Money in the Bank? And there was one more question, but I don't remember what it was.
I just remember those.
Maybe that's what it was. This Saturday at 7 p.m., I think. Well, first off, sometime in the morning at 3 o'clock, 3:30 on the WWE YouTube channel, you'll be able to watch NXT, AAA, TNA, what Worlds Collide. I'm probably not going to watch it because I don't really care. Do you all out in the nation? Do you care? Let us know if you will. You just watch it because you're a wrestling head, like I'll probably end up doing, just because I don't want to do any yard work. But Saturday night we have Money in the Bank, and then
Friday night's Against All Odds.
Friday night is Against All Odds. But let's go in reverse order. Money in the Bank, the card right now. I think there's going to be one more match added. It's a four match card right now. Cody and Jay versus Cena and Logan Paul. You've got the women's Money in the Bank match, the men's Money in the Bank match, Lyra versus Becky for the women's Intercontinental Championship. Maybe something. Hopeful. Let me rephrase this. Hopefully, something happens that causes Jacob Fatu to put his U.S. title on the line at the pay-per-view. We still do have one more night to build for this. Kind of a sloppy build, but a build for that final match on the pay-per-view card.
Yeah, I don't like the 4-match cards.
No, I don't either. I
mean, you ain't got Jade on there. You ain't got Bianca. You don't have Jacob Fatu. You don't have even though Seth Rollins is in the men's Money in the Bank, you don't have Bronson Reed and Braun Breaker on there. You don't have Gunther on there. There's just so many people that could have a match.
Bunch of people.
Makes no sense.
No. Let's see. And last question of the night. Could you all hear, you all out there in YouTube land, could y'all hear Chris when he called in and was complaining about me leaving his alleged biological father off of the greatest?
I'm pretty sure they did, because that's when Wes was like, he likes it when he was talking about the whipped cream getting creamed. Or maybe he heard us talking about it.
Maybe you heard us. Wes, speaking of Wes, I will say I do love the Outrunners from OVW that are in AEW. Yeah, little known fact, they have both been in my home before, back when they were just Randall Floyd and Shiloh Jones. So that's pretty cool to see. Because for me, Randall Floyd's the one that got away. And let me explain that to you. Not anything romantically. He come to the house. First off, he dominated OVW his rookie year. Had him in here on the show. He talked the talk. He had the look. He kind of looked like a young Stone Cold Steve Austin. And then for whatever reason, he decided to grow that horrendous Fu Manchu and grow his hair out, and now he looks like a Hulk Hogan from Temu. So let's see. Wes Brocky said, "Yes, sir. Krispy Kreme was loud and stop. Don't ever say it again, Wes."
I know. What? Come on, man.
And then Chris said something, but it's not translate. Oh, yeah, sad face or mad. Oh, he's mad. Well, it is what it is. I'm kind of mad that they heard you, but didn't hear Colin Lyman earlier on the baseball podcast. So it is what it is. Where was I at? Oh, let's do this.
Floyd.
Yeah, let's. Oh yeah, Randall Floyd. So he could have been a megastar. I guess he still can be a megastar. Fingers are crossed. Let's do this. Lyra versus Becky. Who wins that match?
Oh, I think it's got to be Becky, right? With the stipulation she can't ever wrestle for the Intercontinental title again.
Well, you would think that Cody booked himself into that situation at AEW, and that's why he's never been the AEW World Champion.
Yeah, I don't know with that stipulation. I I think obviously there's some kind of shenanigans. Maybe somebody comes back. Maybe she pulls somebody else onto her side to help her win. But I think Becky wins that match. Not that she needs it, but again, it's a new title that she hasn't won. So
men's Money in the Bank. I'm going to go first on I agree with you on that one. I'm going to say that up until this week, it never even crossed my mind of who the winner was going to be. I was like, well, it could be Punk, man. It could be LA Knight. Yeah, it could. But then after seeing Monday Night Raw, it became clear as day that they're going to let Seth Rollins win this Money in the Bank briefcase again, which I hate. Andrade's also in the match. El Hijo Grande Americano, Gabelo, Cheerio, whatever his name is. Wes agrees with you. Says, does somebody interfere in the women's match? I don't know who can come back and interfere or who could align with Becky to interfere.
Don't either, but
I think Rollins. I think Rollins and Punk are the only two choices. Even though I've been waiting for LA Knight to win the Money in the Bank.
CM Punk's not in it.
Oh no, Punk lost.
He lost to Americano.
So it's Americano, Seth, Andrade, LA Knight. It's 4. Who am I missing?
Penta and Solo.
Oh, well,
it narrows it down for you, don't it?
I still don't think it's anybody but Seth.
The only other person I could see is LA Knight.
Yeah,
but and
yeah,
with them coming out to screw CM Punk out of his qualifying match, I could see the interference there from the other guy, Jimmy, Sammy, CM Punk to keep him from winning, and maybe LA Knight winning. I don't see Solo. There would be if Americano Grande El Vikingo, whatever his name is, wins. Like I might start watching AEW Dynamite again if he wins.
I think that could be such an interesting storyline, though.
Yeah, but not for the Money in the Bank world like for a world title match.
But nobody says it has to be for a world title. It could be for any. They've went to NXT. Somebody's cashed in on NXT before.
Yeah, I don't see that, and like I think they're just throwing Andrade a bone probably before his contract expires and he's gone again. Back. Yeah.
I would love to see Penta win it. I really would. Wes says Penta would be great, but that won't happen. If it's not Seth, I think it's got to be Penta or LA Knight.
I can see the Solo angle though, like with his thing going with Jacob and like the power struggle. Like if he's got the Money in the Bank, like you said, it doesn't have to be for the world title. He could try to cash in on Jacob for the U.S. title.
Very true. So we got 4 people who could win. What? Is Finn Balor not in it?
No.
Who beat Finn Balor? Finn Balor was in a qualifying match, and I just assumed he was. Oh, he was in the Seth Rollins one. I assumed that somebody was going to cost Seth Rollins that, and Finn would win, but Finn is not in.
Seth is like Rhea Ripley, though. He doesn't need that to get a world title match.
He don't need it. But here's again, I said people would point out the hypocrisy. For storyline purposes, it would make it seem like the Heyman betrayal was all worth it because he immediately got thrust back into the title picture
whenever he wants, wherever he wants.
Yeah, blah, blah, blah. At any point, and that would play up to that pretty well. And the last match of the night, Cody and Jay versus Logan Paul and John Cena. I really don't care who wins this match. Either way, I'd be fine with. I don't even want to pick a winner of the match because I don't care. I think they're doing a disservice to Jay by continuously putting him like. Here's what we all know: Jay's going to Joey Uso. Jay Uso is going to. He's fighting Gunther Monday in Phoenix for the title, and I don't know. Here's what I haven't decided. There's going to be interference in this match. Will the interference help Jay win or solidify Gunther winning, setting up a title match between the two. And the interference I'm referring to is Goldberg. I 1000% expect, you've heard it here first, even though I have no basis behind it other than speculation. Goldberg will be in Phoenix on Monday.
Yeah.
Robert Holt, premium subscriber to the podcast, Robert Holt says, nobody cares about that match. Bring back R-Truth. I'm with you there. Chris Runyon, the guy who, as you could tell earlier when he was on the phone with us, he's a little slow, says Punk will cost Seth the match. It will be solo to create more tension with Fight 2. I like that idea. Again, all jokes aside, I do like that idea. But I'm going to say this. It's either one or the other. Either Solo wins to create that tension with Fight 2, or Seth wins to shoot him straight to the main event.
So you were talking about Monday, Gunther, Goldberg, Jey Uso, right? So here's what I could see happen is Goldberg comes out to kind of screw Gunther, but then right after the match, Seth Rollins music hits and comes out, and by the time Raw's off Monday, Seth Rollins is the world champion.
Ooh. Okay.
Cashes in on Monday night. Or he cashes in. Here's the other thing.
Which would further my point of him winning the Money in the Bank to get him in the title picture immediately.
Well, what if he cashes in? What if he cashes in on, like, if Cody and Jay versus Logan and Cena is the main event? Rollins could cash in.
Yep.
Cash in. Yeah.
Other results for that match that I have in my head is possibly Jay beating Gunther again, and then Gunther just beating the crap out of him, and then Goldberg's music hits. Or it looks like Gunther's about to win, and Goldberg's music hits. Gunther turns around, Jay pins him pretty easily, and then that starts off the road to Goldberg and Gunther at SummerSlam. Or Gunther just beats the living crap out of him, wins the title, and just keeps beating him, and then Goldberg comes out to make the save. Great point. Robert Holt says, if LA Knight does win Money in the Bank, what's the angle there? I'm a big fan, but I don't know where it goes. Robert, I'm with you. The only two that have storyline continuances to me is Solo and Seth. So great point there, Robert. I agree with you. Speaking of SummerSlam, the plan was/is for us to try to make it. We don't, with the rising ticket prices of WWE stuff. I mean, I've already spent well into the thousands just on the Royal Rumble and WrestleMania this year. And my hopes was to be, and I'll be honest with you, if that fourth one was somewhere a little bit closer, I would force myself to go to SummerSlam. I want to go to SummerSlam. It's in MetLife, the trip to New York City area. We could go to the world headquarters. And it still may happen. I got to see. I've got a lot of bills due here within the next couple of months, so I don't know if I'll be able to trick off enough to be able to get up there. But it's always a situation. I remember one year we were just sitting. It was a Thursday. It may have even been a Friday. Joey just got off work. I just got off work. I was like, man, I don't want to go to work Monday. What can we do? And we sat there for a minute, and just jokingly, I said, let's go to Dallas for Survivor Series. Joey's like, okay. And then I was like, okay. So we can still end up going. Just right now, it's not looking like we will go, but we'll see. Bring back R-Truth. The R-Truth chants all throughout Raw were amazing. The R-Truth chants at NXT last night were amazing. There may be, for all I know, there are R-Truth chants tonight at AEW. I don't know.
He might have debuted.
Or he may have debuted.
Are false.
So let's get to the last segment of the show, and it's final thoughts. And then we're going to go over the TNA pay-per-view card. Your all's thoughts on WrestleMania possibly being in, or it's not been announced yet, but possibly being in Vegas again. Give us your thoughts on that on the chat line. I'm not a big fan of it. And another segment I'm going to do is called the Busted Open Point of the Week. This is an argument that I heard one of the callers this morning. I'll start remembering to write their names down so I can give them proper credit. And they've said what I've said all along. AEW is not going to create stars, but they can create wrestlers. They can showcase wrestlers. They don't showcase stars. The point was Penta, Jade, Ray Phoenix, Mariah May all debuted and looked like $1 million. And they haven't even done anything in WWE at
Ricky
that point.
Starks.
Ricky Saints.
Ethan Page.
All of them. But they weren't that in AEW. But they were. The thought process was, if you're wanting to tune in to watch a bunch of people who can wrestle good, but there's no storylines, tune into AEW. If you want to see some people blossom into stars or be presented as stars from day one, watch WWE NXT. I don't disagree with that point at all. I really do agree with the fact, because these people are coming over and there's more and more AEW people. Cody, even, that was the biggest point. Cody was at best a mid-carder presentation in AEW, even though being one of the EVPs. And he, first night at WrestleMania, blew the roof off that stadium that didn't have a roof. Like it was ridiculous. Let's see. Tom Jeffries, man, Carlito left and took the PS5 with him. That's funny.
Did y'all notice the Demon Balor box?
Did.
Okay.
I did. Chris Runyon says it would be the first time going back to back since 4 and 5 in Atlantic City at the Trump Tower. That is very true. I don't like, and even if the other scenario that's been posed is, well, they're going to do one every 3 or 4 years in Vegas. I guess I could be okay with that, but the best part of WrestleMania is while you're watching and the vignette starts, it's like, in 2026, WrestleMania is coming, unlike Sean, to presenting City. And it's always been awesome. And I know the last couple of years they've kind of spoiled it a week early, which is kind of teed me off, because I don't want to know a week early. I want to know during WrestleMania. Robert Holt says Mariah May being in NXT is a good move, but I think she moves up quick. I see her working with Vicaire. I agree with that. Wes says, I'm looking forward to some of the guests you will eventually get on a Ringside podcast whenever that happens. Look, you all know that the Ringside podcast is synonymous with two things. First off, we are the #1 wrestling podcast in the state, in the region. Definitely top 10 in the country. So we will continue to bring you people, guests that we've already had. Rhea Ripley, Bobby Lashley, Candice LeRae, not CM Punk, Joe Hendry, Cody Rhodes. I mean, the list, Big E, the list. I tried to get in a couple of factions by the end of interviews. I got Big E to agree I was an honorary member of the New Day. I got Rhea to make me an honorary member of Judgment Day. Bobby made me an honorary member of the Hurt Syndicate. And I think Candice LeRae made me an honorary member of The Way. That one I was just trying for fun. But yeah, we'll here's the deal. We will as long as you all continue to support like you are tonight. This is ridiculous. We've been on for an hour. Didn't intend for that to happen. It's probably going to happen every time though. And the amount of people that are watching is very, very humbling. We appreciate that support. I say you eventually get Haley J on there. I think that would be awesome. Hey, you're the Haley J link up, man.
She has been on the Ringside podcast.
Oh yeah, she has been on Ringside before. But I think I see where he's going with that. He's talking about the reality of wrestling's Haley J.
You know, you should try to get
who?
Santino Marella.
I would love to have Santino.
That would be such an awesome interview.
I watched his interview with Chris Van Fish Fillet this morning.
Oh, great.
And it was amazing.
He quizzed him on all the people's names he messed up. And I think he only got one wrong. He couldn't remember
It was like the last one. And then
Yeah.
Chris did a couple more that let him. So here's what I want to show you all. So Wes Brocky makes this point. I say you eventually get Haley J on there. I think that would be awesome. His very next comment. I'd like to see you all maybe get Haley J on the show. You know what I think? I think maybe, Joey.
I think we should get Haley J. That'd be awesome.
Why hasn't anybody said anything about that? I think we should get Haley J on the show. But these summer shows are going to be preview and recaps of the pay-per-view, something to get us through the summer until school starts, all the sports starts. And then me and Daniel and the crew are going to sit down and figure out what the long-term plan is for Ringside Podcast. One way or another, as long as you all keep doing what you're doing tonight, we'll keep showing out. Tom, sent you a DM on Twitter. I would like for you to kind of be the AEW representative as far as getting me like a summary of what happened. I mean, I don't need to know every match result, but give me the highlights. Shoot me a DM every week of the highlights, and I'll shout you out for it. And hey, eventually I might have you call in and say them or whatever. Robert Holt.
That's a good point.
What about Hollywood Haley J?
Yeah, never thought
Sam's
of that
here.
one.
Oh no, Sam's not here. Sorry.
Going back to you saying for Tom to get you the highlights, I think we need to amend that statement. Can you get us the highlight? Because there's usually only probably one.
Let's see if and I don't know if I can transmit this over the. I'm going to try. We'll see if it does. But there is a hilarious, kind of I think what we're looking for. Let me see if I can find this really quickly or really slowly. No, it's not that one. That one's full of curse words.
One of them that they should have had in the Money in the Bank, I firmly believe, is Carmelo Hayes. I think you could have left. I think you could have left Andrade out, or Chad Gate. I'm sorry, El Grande Americano.
So here's a clip from a prior episode of the Ringside Podcast. This is probably my favorite one-liner of all time.
Oh, I know what this is.
Let's go ahead and roll it.
Hard at, but we just can't stop certain things, and I think that's just one of those tragedies that we just can't stop, guys.
Look, L's up, A-Town down. Appreciate your time today.
That's right. That's right. You guys have a good one, and Daniel, you can suck it. All right.
Loved it. But here's the you mentioned the AEW highlights every week. Let's go to our guy Joe Hendry. This Joe Hendry disc video. This may be the greatest one yet.
Let's take a look at the Ryan Nemeth story. Roll the footage. He's Nick Nemeth's brother. The end.
That's what I think of that. But no, yeah, I would like for people who are passionate about wrestling to get us, because we want to represent all the feds out there that we care about and stuff of that nature. Before we go, and we are going here soon, and appreciate everybody hanging in here. We do have the card for TNA against all odds. We are going to start off. We have a match between Joe. This is not in any particular order. Joe Hendry and Frankie Kazarian are fighting. We've not heard from Joe Hendry since he got whooped by that trick. Huh?
I think he loses that if his all indications is what I've seen on the dirt sheets and everything is that his contract's up at end of the summer. So maybe he loses that and takes a little time off, and then he's headed to the big show.
What? No, I don't want to get copywritten. Good thing is we won't get copywritten by TNA because we got friends there. Heller. Let me go. I cut to the middle of the card. The first match that is featured is for the official TNA Director of Authority. It is Robert Stone with Tessa Blanchard in his corner versus Santino Marella with Ariana Grace in his corner. The TNA World Tag Team Championships are on the line as the Nemeths, the end, fight the Rascals. They defend their titles against the Rascals. TNA International Championships on the line as Steve Macklin defends against Mance Warner, whatever that is.
With Steph Delander.
Masha Slamovich defends her TNA Knockouts World title versus Li Ying Li.
Oh, I love me some Li Ying Li, especially
Formerly
on
known as
Instagram.
Xia Li, correct? That's Xia Li.
Yes. Her Instagram is amazing.
And the main event, the TNA World title is on the line as Who Wants to Walk with Elijah challenges Trick Williams for the TNA World Championship. That still don't seem like an accurate statement. I'm interested in seeing what they do with this. Listen, if this was a storyline that people there weren't happy with, it wouldn't be getting as much traction as it is. As I said earlier, TNA is being featured on NXT television every week in the main event the last 2 weeks. So it's mutually benefiting both parties here.
Well, they're getting with having Trick Williams as the champion and the main event of their pay-per-view, you're going to have a whole bunch of people that are going to be watching that pay-per-view Friday that normally wouldn't.
A whole bunch.
It helps Trick and A.
Wait, did you say a whole bunch or a whole bunch?
Whole bunch watching Trick and A against Elijah.
Big Trick Williams fan. I was kind of let down when I saw him in person in Orlando last year or a year before. I don't remember which year it was. Joey, were you with us when him and Lash walked by?
No.
Okay. Wes Brocky says Megan Bain and GCW is awesome too. She was she got her start here in the OV dub. But that's about all we have for you guys tonight. We can come back and if you all enjoyed tonight, we'll come back next week and we will recap the pay-per-view and kind of go over what was done on SmackDown. I don't know how we're going to do it just yet. I'm not going to promise you that. We're definitely not going to have a set time of day every week because we're all so busy. But we will make sure that we're on here every couple of weeks at least to get you caught up and to get you ready for the latest pay-per-views that are coming up. For Joe Wallman, for myself, the Wallman World Tag Team Champions. I don't have any fancy intros made up yet. I don't have any fancy outros made up yet. But enjoy your week in wrestling. Big pay-per-views coming up. We've got Worlds Collide and Money in the Bank Saturday, and then Hard Reset. And if you like just a bunch of people throwing stuff at each other, All In Texas in July.
You got Against All Odds Friday.
And Against All Odds Friday. I keep going Saturday and then forgetting Friday. So do I have anything that I can play us out to? I don't really think.